My name is Ibraheem. I come from Boston. I was born and raised in Chicago. I moved to Jordan. I graduated high school from there. I'm originally Palestinian. I'm here representing the campaign that's named #Feel the Bern for Palestine. It started in Boston. How could we make use of the Boston Bernie Sanders rally that was taking place that day? Bernie Sanders is a person that we have a lot of shared vision with regarding income inequality, anti-corporatism. The many slogans and stances that he pushes are stances that we definitely agree with. One thing that we felt was not as clear and as strong as it should be is his support for Palestinian human rights. And so the question began to formulate as to, should we really focus on Bernie or should we focus on Hillary for that purpose? And we realized that Hillary's a lost cause. Hillary is somebody that we oppose strongly, and there's no reason to even try to put effort into negotiating or talking with her about Palestinian human rights, because she's firmly placed herself in the pro-Israeli abusist camp. And you can't fight that when the money's on the line and she doesn't see the value in Palestinian human rights activists. So we decided we're gonna take a friendly approach with Bernie Sanders' campaign, represent Palestinian human rights as clearly as we could about how he could further strengthen his stances that are pro-Palestinian human rights and make them truly detailed enough that they can actually impact Palestinian human rights in a positive manner. And so we created that sign, using his own hashtag, which is also the craze behind him now, which is the Bern of Bernie. We got the response of, we got kicked out of his event. It showed us that that there's this fear, or there's this negligence, or that there's this disconnect between the fact that Palestinian human rights being connected to domestic issues in the United States, problems that Americans think about on a daily basis, national security, terrorism, international versus domestic policies, and how we should focus our attention and focus. And we saw that there's a disconnect. Why is that Palestinian human rights happens to be the disconnect that is made, whereas everything else is connected between Bernie Sanders' campaign and liberal progressive issues? And so we sought an answer, and we found that by having conversation with the campaign manager for Bernie Sanders, Jeff Weaver, 13 minutes on the phone, that they weren't exactly super receptive to the idea. They were half receptive. They wanted us to stay in the loop, but they didn't want to have a full conversation about it. We asked for a meeting, and we had agreed that there would be a meeting, and the meeting didn't happen. It was supposed to happen 2 to 3 days after us getting kicked out. And so it developed into another problem, which is what's the reason for Bernie Sanders' lack of communication with us now, that wasn't so present when he wanted to apologize to us. So today, we know that Dr. Cornel West is going to be in attendance. The idea is that we're going to be talking to Dr. Cornel West about his prior stance that he published upon his endorsement of Bernie Sanders, that he's not willing to, quote unquote, throw his Palestinian brothers and sisters down the river for American politics, close the quote. And he, being the stance, we want to approach him and talk to him about the potential of getting in a conversation with himself and Bernie Sanders involved today on video, taking a picture with our banner potentially that says #Feel the Bern for Palestine, and get him to show his stance more publicly, one that he declared before in support of our movement to get Bernie Sanders to stand strongly in support of Palestinian human rights. He's a connector to Bernie Sanders' campaign, and given that he's representative of Bernie Sanders' campaign today, we find that to be a golden opportunity to bring Palestinian human rights into the public mainstream, especially on an important day like this, the second debate of the Democratic presidential elections.
Perfect. And the banner says what?
Will ya hashtag, using the hashtag that Bernie Sanders uses in his campaign, feel the burn for Palestine. Without any question marks, without any exclamation marks, just flat, just open for interpretation.
An American icon, Dr. Cornel West. Come on up, Dr. West.
The young brothers here that they got, what does it say? What does it say? Will you feel the burn for Palestine? Brother Bernie Sanders, he recognizes that a precious Palestinian baby has the same value as a precious Israeli baby. We are in this with everybody embracing peoples who are wrestling with injustice. We can't stand anti-Jewish hatred. We can't stand anti-Arab, anti-Muslim, anti-Palestinian hatred. Is that right? Are we in it universal? Well, all right then. All right. Let me give y'all a hug too, though. Let me give